Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right, we're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Hey friends, this is part 2 of this story. If you haven't listened to part 1, head over there, listen, and then join us back on this episode. As the week went on, Levi and Ivy got better and better as their rafting courses got harder and harder. The water moved a bit quicker each day with more obstacles to navigate around and more excitement around every turn. Levi and Ivy loved it, and anywhere they went on the river, Luna was right by their side. "You two are really excelling here at camp," said Max as Levi and Ivy were taking a rest between rafting sessions during the middle of camp. "I know you're both new to rafting, but you both have some serious skills. I wanted to know if you'd like to race the Swift Current crew at the end of camp." Levi and Ivy were so flattered that Max thought they were good enough to represent their whole camp group and race 2 members of the Swift Current crew. "We'll do it," called out Levi and Ivy together. They were confident in all that Max had taught them, and they knew they would accomplish anything if they worked together and believed in themselves. And win or lose, they would give it their best try. The week went on, and Levi and Ivy practiced their rafting skills every chance they got, even when they had free time. Levi and Ivy were always on the river while other campers were playing soccer, making crafts, or just chilling out in their bunks. They wanted to be the best they could be for the big race, and they knew that meant a lot of practice. "The Swift Current crew is really good. You can't deny that," said Luna. "But with me by your side, coupled with your rafting skills, you'll be definitely a hard team to beat. And win or lose, before you leave camp, I'd love to show you both a super special place that exists just beyond the waterfall on the Rapids course. It's called the Cove, and it's truly magical, rumored to be filled with treasures." "And a talking otter, and now a cove filled with treasure?" said Levi. "Could this place get any better?" "I don't think so," giggled Ivy as she and Levi followed Luna and got right back to practicing. Levi and Ivy trained alongside Luna and learned every bend, turn, and wave in the river. They practiced on all the hardest rapid runs and only had one more to conquer. That was the most challenging rapid of them all, and the setting for the big race the very next day. Levi and Ivy couldn't believe camp was coming to an end. It had all gone by so quickly, but so many incredible things had already happened. They learned all week from the best camp leader at Rapid Falls Summer Camp and were becoming amazing rafters. They met Luna, a talking otter, and they were hours away from maybe beating the best team in camp on the hardest course on the rapids. "Now just remember everything I taught you to and you'll do great," said Max. "Your best is all I'm looking for, and no matter if you win or lose, you'll be so proud of yourselves for working together and finishing this course. I know you can do it. Now go have some fun. I'll be rafting along with both teams to keep an eye on everyone, and I know you'll both do great." Levi and Ivy thanked Max for his encouraging words and walked into the raft to give it one last safety check before heading out. As they did, they noticed some clouds rolling in and felt a raindrop or 2 hit their helmets. They looked to Max to make sure the race was still on. He gave them a thumbs up, but also told them if the weather started to get worse, unfortunately, they would have to cancel the race. Levi and Ivy definitely didn't want that to happen. This was their time to have the rafting adventure they had always dreamed about, and they couldn't let a little storm stop that. Lucky for Levi and Ivy, the weather held out and the race was set to start. Final safety checks were done for both teams and the race course was gone over again. Once both teams were ready to go, the other campers counted them down and the Rapid Falls Summer Camp Rapids race began. Max pedaled out in front, drifting just far enough ahead to give the 2 teams room to maneuver the river, but also staying close enough to help out if he needed to. Everything was going well until some thunder rolled in and the rain began to fall harder. The sudden bad weather was making the rapids course a little more rapid than usual, and Levi and Ivy didn't know if they could make it to the end. That's when Luna popped out of the water. "I thought I would check in on my 2 favorite rafters now that the weather is getting rough," said Luna. How are you doing?" Levi and Ivy weren't up for talking much at that point. The water was getting very rough, and the rain was now coming down extra hard. So hard, in fact, that they couldn't see very well. Luna noticed this and tried her best to tell them when they were getting too close to the edge of the river. However, Levi and Ivy couldn't hear her over the pounding water and rain, so in just a split second, they went from rafting down the rapids to pulling themselves out of the water onto a riverbank. "Our raft!" called out Ivy. "Our raft! It tipped over!" "Don't worry, Ivy. Max will see it and he'll come back to find us," said Levi. "The important thing is that we're okay." "I'm not worried about being found. We have Luna by our side. I'm worried that we won't win the race," said Ivy with a look of disappointment on her face. "No need to be upset about that, Ivy. You two did an amazing job. I don't know how many kids your age could have made it that far as you did in the water with all that weather," said Luna, trying to make Levi and Ivy feel better. "And I think I have something that will cheer you up while we wait for Max." Levi and Ivy followed Luna as she scurried up the riverbank and toward a small waterfall. As they got closer, Levi and Ivy knew where she was taking them. "The cove!" called out Levi and Ivy. "That's right," answered Luna. "Just like I promised you. Win or lose, I knew you'd do your best. And this is your reward. A little prize from me to you." Luna walked Levi and Ivy inside the cove, and the natural wonders that surrounded them were like nothing they had ever seen before. Many waterfalls cascaded from the ceilings, falling gently into crystal blue pools. Those pools were surrounded by glistening stones of every color imaginable and the greenest, most beautiful plants and vines either of them had ever seen. "This is better than winning any race I can think of," whispered Levi, not wanting to take away from the moment he and Ivy were enjoying. Ivy just nodded her head and knelt down to give Luna a hug. "Thank you," she said. The three friends stayed quiet, just taking it all in for a few minutes until a loud rumble of thunder shook them out of their silence. "Wow, you were right, Luna. This cove is filled with treasure. Beautiful, natural treasure," said Ivy. "Well, you're not wrong there," explained Luna. "The things around you are natural treasures for sure, but I was talking about real treasure too." Levi and Ivy were very interested and followed Luna as she led them down a narrow path that curved just behind one of the waterfalls and into a hidden room. "I meant this treasure," said Luna, pointing to a giant wooden chest. "Pirate treasure? No way!" exclaimed Levi. "Not exactly," said Luna. "Rapid Falls summer camp treasure." And Luna was absolutely right. Levi and Ivy rushed to open the giant wooden chest, and inside they found old Rapid Falls summer camp memorabilia spanning back from when the camp had opened 50 years earlier. There were old camp maps, vintage life vests, antique rafting trophies, and hundreds of pictures telling the stories of amazing summers that hundreds of campers had had there before them. Levi and Ivy were lost in the excitement of looking through all the great things in the chest that they didn't hear Max calling their names at first. "Levi! Ivy!" they heard calling from the other side of the waterfall. "Max, is that you?" called back Levi. "We're in here." Max ran into the hidden room behind the waterfall, looking so relieved to see Levi and Ivy. Once he made sure they were okay, he was introduced to Luna and shown the amazing wooden treasure chest. "Wow, this is a lot to take in," said Max with a look of surprise on his face. "I couldn't be happier that I found you two and you're okay. Then I meet a talking otter, and then you show me this super cool treasure chest filled with memorabilia from my favorite place on earth. This is a pretty epic day." "I know, it's awesome," said Ivy before her smile turned into a frown. "But I guess we lost the race, huh?" "Ivy, don't be so down," said Max. "You may have lost the race, but you two did an absolutely amazing job this week. The best I've ever seen two new rafters do for sure. I could not be more proud of you. You have to be proud of yourselves too. And the discovery you made here today will be something that will make everyone at Rapid Falls Summer Camp so happy. You have to be excited about that." "I'm happy about that, Ivy," said Levi, trying to make his sisters see that they had so much to be happy for. "You're right. I'm happy too." "Really happy," said Ivy. "Thank you, Max, and thank you, Luna." As the storm began to let up, Max loaded Levi, Ivy, and the giant wooden chest into his raft. And with Luna swimming by their side, they made their way back to camp. Everyone, even the Swift Current crew, was so happy to see them all. You two did an amazing job, said one of the Swift Current crew members. That course was by far the hardest we've ever rafted before, said another. You should feel very proud of how great you did this week. We can't wait for next summer when we can have another race. Levi and Ivy felt great hearing that from the Swift Current crew. After all, they were the best of the best. And now they were even more excited to share what they found in the cove with the rest of the camp. As everyone looked through the giant wooden chest, the sun came out and a huge celebration dinner was had to say goodbye and thank everyone for a great week. All the adults returned to celebrate with their kids and hear all about the fun they had rafting that week. And boy, was there a lot to talk about. Levi and Ivy were recognized for their great work that week and applauded for their bravery earlier that afternoon. The pride they felt couldn't be matched. Unless you happen to look at their parents, who looked even prouder than them. It sounds like you had the best week ever, said Levi and Ivy's mom as she helped load their things into the car. It was better than the best, said Ivy. Totally. We can't wait to come back next year, exclaimed Levi. See, I told you they'd have a great time, said Levi and Ivy's dad. Levi and Ivy said a final goodbye to their friends they made that week, saving a special goodbye for Max. They thanked him again for everything he taught them, and they told him they would see him next summer for sure. They also asked that he would watch over Luna for them until they got back. You got it, said Max. Keep practicing your rafting, and I can't wait to see how good you both are when you show up next summer. Levi and Ivy promised and waved to Luna, letting her know that they would see her soon. Bye, Levi and Ivy. I'll miss you too, and I can't wait to see you next summer, called out Luna. And as they drove off, the sun was starting to set over the river, creating the most beautiful reflection in the rippling water. It was then that Levi and Ivy heard their mom say, "Now, maybe it's all the excitement today, but did I just hear that little otter talk to you?" But Levi and Ivy's mom would have to wait for that answer because her kids were already fast asleep, exhausted in the best way possible from the greatest rafting adventure they could have ever imagined. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.